going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal, Spaz, Phoenix, the YWC, reality checking. You don't see my pretty, sexy face, which you wouldn't anyway if you're listening to this in audio form, so this entrance really still doesn't work. So you know I'm not alone, though. For the first time since COVID, I think, we're talking
2020, maybe?
We're talking about AEW. We got Guapo back on the line, so to speak. My collection of co-hosts tends to grow. I think we've got it sort of settled now. Me and Kristen do movies. Me and Jake do NXT. Me and Connor do like WWE B pay-per-views, and you and I have AEW. I feel like this really weird, not at all news entity that has all my different correspondents. It's very strange.
You have your correspondence for your various wrestling needs, of course.
Indeed. So since we haven't heard from you in a while, how you doing, bud?
Been doing well, keeping busy, living that essential life, working all the time, so.
Oh, fuck. Essential life. Don't get me started. I mean, we don't have to retread the territory of, oh my god, these days we're living in right now. Can you believe this? It's been going on long enough now.
It's hard times, baby. Hard times.
Oh, Christ. We would be remiss if we didn't take a brief moment to acknowledge the passing of Shad Gaspard this week.
Absolutely.
The incident at the beach down there in the States. I talked about it very briefly on my NXT review. Other than it's incredibly fucking sad. Crime Time was an awesome tag team. I mentioned it the other day. There's a lot of teams that are around today that are trying to capture the same like genuine fun connection with the crowd that they had. So huge loss, obviously, on a personal level for his family and friends, but huge loss to us as well, who, might have been hanging on the idea that Crime Time might have come back for a run or what have you.
That was always a hope that they pop up on WWE or anywhere, honestly. Crime Time was one of those random tag teams that was fun to see pop up randomly here and there, and it's definitely a tragic loss. However, I do want to point out and say that it's terrible feeling and knowing that he's gone and no longer with us, but it's an amazing thing that he was his last act of kindness and greatness was to be a wonderful father and make sure his 10-year-old son got to shore.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we all watch What Culture to varying degrees, and those guys had worked with JTG on some behind-the-scenes stuff. And, much like anybody else, and I'm not saying like What Culture's word is gospel by any stretch of the imagination, but they sort of echo what all the wrestlers are saying, like just genuinely, like universally loved guy, and you can't time these things, but like happening the same sort of week that we've just redrudged all of our old memories of the Owen Hart tragedy.
Yeah.
And how he was so universally loved. So to have those two guys, and the loss of those two guys in our conversations both this week it's a sad, sad irony. But, let's think about whatever you believe is up there. Hopefully they're having a match and entertaining the hell out of people up there.
Thoughts and prayers are definitely with the family of Shad, and definitely a loss for the wrestling community.
Yeah, and on a like I say, like you almost don't want to say it, but like on that selfish level, that we could have had like one more nostalgia run or had them pop up at a Royal Rumble or something like that. NXT and AEW both paying tribute to Shad in their own ways this week on Wednesday nights, showing that we can occasionally throw the war in the Wednesday Night War to the side, and everybody can show respect when it's necessary. So that was really nice to see. Jim Ross had a lot of nice things to say about him. WWE did very much what WWE does with the 10 bells and all that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So it sucks, and it's on AEW this weekend, man, to try and cheer the wrestling world up. And we got Double or Nothing, and it's going to be an empty arena pay-per-view.
Yep, empty arena pay-per-view. However,
they'll have their manufactured crowd.
Not to rub this in, but AEW has a better crowd, at least, because, they have at least some people out there. Even though they're wrestlers, it's somebody, it helps break the illusion and breaks the tension of there's no one there.
Yeah, and I will say, and I don't shit on, and you and I have had this conversation before, I don't shit on AEW for the sake of it, or I don't shit on AEW just for the sake of, oh, I'm the NXT guy, so I have to. I shit on AEW for shit when I think it needs to be shit on. Like, the way they've artificially manufactured the crowd, using the extra wrestlers, I think even using some of the office people and their families and whatnot, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
I mean, there's been kids there once, right? Obviously, you see, like, Billy Gunn and his kid and whoever's not wrestling at the time, whatever. It does recreate sort of the idea of the crowd. Now, in the current times, whether that's something to be applauded or not is a debate that I'm going to leave for somebody else, because obviously people are going to have opinions on that. But even more to the point, WWE, if we're going to make the comparison, has Full Sail and the PC, which are basically the same as far as a show setup. Daly's Place is such a unique venue, and obviously with it being open air and all that sort of thing, they're able to do pyro, they're able to do a little bit more of the bombastic stuff that obviously you can't do in the Performance Center. So...
Or you can have a match in the middle of a stadium.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. Everything. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I feel like we should say this for everything going forward right now, so that we don't have to keep saying it. Everything that we talk about that's awesome tonight, in brackets, has the considering the time we're in addition on it.
Of course.
Everything we're going to see this Saturday would be better if we weren't in the time that we're in right now. So I'm going to say it once now so that we don't have to trip over saying it on every particular different individual match, individual situation, whatever. Because it's true, and it is shitty, but like it's shitty for them, it's shitty for WWE, it's shitty for the rest of the fucking world who have nothing to do, and by the way, I need a haircut. So we're getting that out of the way now so that we can talk about the show as a show. And that's it. So there are some things on here by necessity, because of the way things are right now, that were just thrown on the card.
Right.
And I will give AEW all the credit in the world. Normally, that's not the case. Normally, they're pretty good at like layering the stories and building something to something to something. There are matches on here that are just thrown on for the heck of it. And if we weren't in the situation we're in right now, I would give them a little bit of shit for that. I can't, because there's got to be a certain level of, okay, let's see who we can actually get, who's healthy, who's available, who can get here. So they're operating behind the 8 ball. So I will give them credit for that. But the first of those matches that I'm going to mention is Private Party versus the Best Friends, on the kickoff, or it's still called the buy-in, right?
Technically, yes.
It's a number 1 contenders match. Now, this is weird, and this is something I'm going to talk about more later on in the night, because there's not a lot. Like, there's a brand new title. Trust me, I got thoughts on that. But there's no, because of one of the main matches on the card tonight, we have no tag team championship match, and we have no world championship match, which is new territory for an AEW show.
Right.
So it's nice to see, in a sense, it's nice to see that we are going to have a conversation about the tag team championships, even if they're not being defended on the night. Best Friends are great. Private Party, and people are going to nail me for this for the wrong reasons. Private Party are one of those people, or one of those teams rather, that follows very much in the footsteps of a fun party atmosphere tag team like Crime Time. So, sort of a sentimental pick here. I'd like to see Private Party win here.
I agree with you there. I honestly think Private Party is going to get the shot of being number 1 contenders, since Best Friends have already had that shot and been there. So, and also, I honestly think Chuck Taylor, Trent are going to be putting over Private Party, so that way they can get a little bit of a push coming back into this hopefully normalized system of getting back to normal.
It's funny in a way too, because I've always said, we've said it before. Normally, I hate the idea, and WWE is guilty of this more than AEW, obviously. I hate the idea of somebody getting a title shot because they've been away a while, or getting a title shot because they just came back from injury. But this isn't really the case here. It's just we haven't seen them in a while.
Right.
But I know I just said I picked Private Party. But on the other side of the coin, you do have to pay a little bit of extra attention to the people that have been in the building and have been holding up the shows in this particular weird, very limited talent time. And Best Friends have been like, I don't know if you're going to agree with me or not. I think Best Friends, along with Orange Cassidy, have been one of the cornerstones keeping the show energetic in the time with no audience. So there's a small part of me that would like them to get that recognition. For that, we talked before we came on the air about Asuka becoming the Raw Women's Champion, and Asuka has been one of the highlights of the empty arena era for any company, AEW, WWE, NXT, and so for her to get some recognition out of that, and obviously the news about Becky, can't fight because she's pregnant, and congratulations to her.
Yep, congratulations, Becky.
And Seth, even though he's sort of lost his mind at the moment, it's fine.
Look,
turning our eyes back to this, though, there is a part...
Just a little thing real quick. I mean, this isn't the first time Seth Rollins has forced somebody out of the ring for a while. So...
Damn.
I mean, he has a track record, and this is just another one.
So he busted John Cena's nose. What did he bust on Becky?
Oh, God.
Oh, terrible. Also, it takes somebody... It takes a messiah to knock up the man.
Yep, yes it does.
I mean, we're gonna talk about the AEW Women's Champion later. Moving on.
They're gonna have to name that baby Jesus.
Jesus Christ! And Jesus is gonna come to the show with Becky with a little tiny baby crowbar and try to take out John Cena. Anyways, my point.
AEW, back to AEW.
My point being in this. There's a small part of me, like the real world part of me, that wants to see Best Friends win this for the sake of they've been putting in the work in such a hard time and been holding up the show and all that sort of thing. Private Party, for the reasons I've already mentioned, because we haven't seen them in a while, because I think they'd pay good tribute to a team like Crime Time that preceded them, and we've seen them pay tribute to other people in the past, and they're really good about it. So... Even though I think Best Friends deserve it, I think Private Party wins it as sort of a return pop, whatever you want to call it, Hearts Grow Fonder, whatever cheesy line you want to put on it. I think they're going to get it based on that. If you want to make the argument to me that the Best Friends deserve it more, I'm going to 100% agree. That is, I believe, unless Wikipedia is lying to me, it's the only kickoff match. So, with that being the kickoff match, and I mean, they don't jack up the kickoff like some other companies do, I would love to switch this match onto the main card and switch another match onto the kickoff, which is Shawn Spears versus Dustin Rhodes, because I don't know why this match is happening. Like, I saw what happened on Dynamite this week. And Shawn Spears did like the Shawn Spears news thing and called out Dustin. And then when we came back from commercial break, there was a graphic. Like, I literally saw what happened, but I don't know why this match is happening other than match.
Honestly, I think just because match.
Yeah. I mean, Spaz Phoenix Bingo, like, I met Shawn Spears at a Destiny show last year, back when we had Destiny shows. Not to shout.
Remember when you could go to wrestling shows? Petra Trum remembers.
I was supposed to see Jordan Devlin versus Josh Alexander, champion versus champion at the next show that they were supposed to have, and that I'm bummed about that. I'm not gonna lie.
I was supposed to be at AEW like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Getting back to what I was saying, though, he was at a show, and The other ones that were there were SCU as well.
Another fellow Canadian, Sean Spears.
Oh, for sure. But I'd never seen him in person before. That's not true. I saw Ty Dillinger at a NXT house show at the old Maple Leaf Gardens. But I got a chance to actually shoot the shit with him for a minute or two at the Destiny show. Not to shatter kayfabe, he's like the nicest dude in the world.
Wait, you saw Ty Dillinger? You mean Sean Spears?
Yeah, well.
Same person.
What's the main event? Oh, that's right. It's Luke Harper versus Dean Ambrose. Anyways, nicest dude in the world. So I'm glad to see him actually getting a match because he's been filler in the crowd for a while now. Obviously, I guess Tully Blanchard's not there because of the age and the health risk and all that sort of thing. So he's been sort of floating by himself. I guess he's sort of on pause until they can start that gimmick up again. So at least he's getting some time on the card. Dustin Rhodes shouldn't be able to do what he's doing at his age, but he is. So the match is going to be good. And really my only criticism is I wish they'd given us a reason. Even if they threw together like some random attack last night and just said, you got me now, but I'm going to get you on Saturday. Like that would have been, but they did this weird little gimmick thing. And then they had Jim Ross say, hey, that would be a great match if it was actually made official as the graphic was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dustin Rhodes is going to make Sean Spears look like $1 million.
Oh, God, yeah.
I see him winning, but at the same time, I don't want, like, Dustin Rhodes to just be on that Legends tour, like, losing to everybody on his way out. So, I'd like to see Sean Spears win. As you say, Canadian boy. Like I say, I've met him, and he's a pretty chill dude. But, I care, like, a little bit.
I'm actually picking Sean to win this one as well because Dustin's on his on his retirement tour. He
fake newsed him in the Sean Spears thing. He did the whole like I'm here to report that Dustin Rhodes has retired, but also I'm here calling him out for a match on Saturday. I don't know. It's very much like it's a bit of a shrug, but I feel bad saying it's a bit of a shrug because it's going to be a pretty decent match. Sean Spears, even when he does have a spotlight put on him, even when he fought the great Cody Rhodes, I think he's still like ridiculously underrated.
Agreed.
And they did the whole gimmick with him and Cody that he was pissed off that Cody called him, a good hand, but like in the positive definition of it, he is an amazing hand, and I hope he can be more than just that. I don't want to see him turn into AEW's Dolph Ziggler. I don't think that's what they're doing with him, but they're just not doing anything with him. So, give me something. I'm gonna put the next two matches together, and you'll see why. I have taken a massive dump on AEW for their women's division. There's 2 women's matches on this card tonight.
Yes, there is.
And I am going to compare it to the last NXT pay-per-view that I was at, which was obviously NXT TakeOver Toronto, where we had a title match and another match. We had Shayna Baszler versus Mia Yim, and we had Candice LeRae versus Io Shirai. The match I gave a shit about was not the title. I mean, granted, I wanted Mia Yim to do well because I like Mia Yim, but the match I gave a shit about wasn't the title match, which is definitely the case here.
Yeah.
It's like, quickly say whatever you want to say about the title match, because my take on the title match is I still don't like Nyla Rose. Hikaru Shida deserves to be the challenger. I wish she was challenging a better champion.
Hikaru Shida is my pick to win it because I think they're going to take the title off of Nyla. But I'm also not going to be surprised if they don't. But with that being said, I'm looking forward to this because I really do like Shida. Shida's a very good women's wrestler, and she can hold that title and it really mean something.
Yeah, and I mean, we had this discussion when AEW started. I'm all about being all inclusive. I don't care if you're a dude, if you're a chick. I don't care your race, your size, whatever the case may be. I think everybody knows that at this point. I think for AEW to put a spotlight on a transgender wrestler and make it just another part of the show and not, like, put a spotlight on it by not putting a spotlight on it, that's a cool move on their part. It really is. It'd be the same as, putting a bigger spotlight on Sonya Deville in WWE and all her advocacy, because I think they could do a lot of positive with that as well, like they used to do with Darren Young. I don't think they have the right person to make that positive step with, because I don't hate her. Nyla Rose does nothing for me. Like as an entertainment element on my TV, I just it's like a lot of other people in AEW. We've had this conversation before. Maybe there's something I'm not getting, but it feels like she's being carried by her challengers, and I want their like I say, Hikaru Shido's obviously awesome. The matches she's had to build up the record, or what do you call the AEW ranking that she has. The matches that have gotten her here are all gonna be better than this.
Agreed.
And and on the other side of the coin, you've got a whole lot of fun, a whole lot of character, and I'm sorry, it'll be a better match with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Chris Statlander. I fucking love Chris Statlander. Like,
I'm enjoying Chris Statlander. However, I definitely like I don't know. I like heel Britt Baker. It's
heel
great.
Britt Baker's great.
Especially her calling out Tony Schiavone for being a barista is fucking amazing.
And this is okay. I have to be careful when I say this, because yes, there are couples in wrestling, and no, the women that are in these couples should.
Are you talking about Britt Baker, Bebe?
Yes, I no, without being funny about it. No, the women that are in these couples with the men in wrestling and all that, the females of the couple, I would say the same thing about Renee Young and Dean Ambrose. I would say the same thing about Gargano and LeRae. They should be able to stand out on their own. They do not need to have that, Adam Cole's wife moniker to them. But the jackass, childish, like almost bully jock attitude and style of heel of Adam Cole shines through in Britt Baker, and she still manages to make it her own. After the one shitty promo on the Jericho Cruise that everybody lambasted her for, deservingly so because it was terrible, she's taken chicken shit and made chicken salad, and Chris Statlander's just fun. She just makes you want to see her win, and those are the two elements you need to bring together.
Yeah. So, let's be real. Whenever it happens, because it's going to happen, whenever Britt Baker and Adam Cole inevitably get married.
Oh, are they not already married?
No, they're just dating.
Oh, I am misinformed then.
Yep, they're not married, they're dating. However, they live together and everything else, so I'm sure they're going to end up getting married at some point. But, I'm pretty sure whenever that does inevitably happen, she will, Adam Cole will definitely be Mr. Baker.
Mr. Britt Baker?
Mr. Britt Baker.
I just want to see her come out for a match one day and be like, Brittany Cole, baby!
I will not be surprised if it happens, and I don't know if you listen to AEW's Unrestricted podcast that they put out every week.
No, I don't.
You should. It's pretty good. This week was Britt Baker.
Okay.
And she did actually speak about her relationship with Adam Cole and how they do talk about wrestling and stuff like that. But it's not one of those things they play fight with each other about ratings and different stuff like that, but they actually help each other. Like Britt says, had said in it, there's no reason why she wouldn't pick Adam's brain about things, because Adam's been wrestling for almost 9-10 years now.
Yeah.
And she's been wrestling for 4. So there's no reason for her not to pick his brain, and he helps give her pointers and everything like that. So
And I
it's
mean,
a very
let's be
good
real
relationship.
too, right? Like, as much as wrestlers help each other out, like wrestling's a pretty cutthroat business. Like, the one person you can hopefully think is not gonna like intentionally give you bad advice to fuck you over is your boyfriend that works in another company.
Yep.
Not to say that everybody's an asshole by any stretch of the imagination, but like it's a pretty safe person to go to.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you want to hope that people you're in a relationship with are a safe person to talk to anyway. But
And
I want to. And
it
the thing
says
is,
something.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was just saying that she did say like WWE has relaxed a bit since AEW has started to allow like Adam to actually go to certain things with Britt and like to be able to socialize because he has been friends with all the elite, all the Bucks and almost everybody in AEW. So
Well, he was Bullet Club at one point, right?
yes, he was. He's
Okay.
also down dead. He's actually dead. So.
Somebody on Twitter was saying, "Oh, WWE should just like stop enslaving Adam Cole and let him go play with his friends." I'm like, "Yes, I'm sure he feels like a slave. He's been the champion of the best brand WWE has for a year straight. I think he writes his own shit." Like, you can say a lot of people are enslaved by WWE. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Adam Cole isn't one of them.
No.
But you do want to think though, like on the upswing. Like we joke a lot about like AEW versus NXT versus WWE and all that sort of thing. I get in on the Wednesday Night War crap as much as anybody because I'm ridiculously biased towards NXT. But like there are real human people stuck in the middle there. And the prime example is all the couples that cross the brands. What is it? Big Swole and Cedric Alexander are a thing.
Yep. They're together.
Renee Young and Dean Ambrose is an obvious one, but isn't Sean Spears with one of the Iconics, Peyton Royce, I think, right?
Peyton Royce, yes, they're
So-
together. And also, I mean, Chelsea Green and Matt something, whatever his new name
Well,
is.
he's not there anymore. We don't need to talk about Black Wednesday a couple of weeks ago. That's an entirely
No,
separate podcast.
that's a whole nother show.
Because then we'd have to talk about the whole like controversy of the Drake Maverick situation, and I just don't have the energy for that tonight. I really don't. I'm going to go off on one if we don't change the topic. Anyways, Britt Baker, Chris Statlander. And this is a more positive version of I don't care who wins because I like them both. It's one of those, the one match that I don't care about is going to affect the one that I do. Because if Hikaru Shida becomes the champion, I want to believe Dr. Britt Baker is the next challenger. And if Nyla Rose manages to retain it, I want to see Chris Statlander get another chance. So who I want to win and who makes sense to win entirely depends on who walks out as champion. Mm-hmm. So it's a harder one to play because Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida can fight, and Chris Statlander and Nyla Rose can fight. And I think those two feuds are going to happen anyway. It's just a matter of which match is for the belt next time. Anyways, so I was nice. I didn't shit on their women's division too much. I just shit on their champion. I'm making progress. It's good. Guapo, you're like my therapist.
You're welcome. I'm also picking Britt Baker for that match. So
the check's in the mail.
Yep, checks in the mail. Gotcha, brother.
One of the more intriguing...
American dollars, though, please.
I'm gonna send you a $2 coin, and you're gonna go ooh and ah over it, right?
I mean, yeah.
So,
is that loony or toonie?
Are you asking me if the 2 is a toonie? Is that a thing? Is that what's happening right now?
Is that what it is?
No, the 1 is a toonie. It's fine.
One is a toonie. Gotcha. Just send me 2 toonies then.
All right. So, of the matches that have just been thrown together, interesting situation here because we're going to talk about a match that's going to lead to an entirely different match. And what I'm talking about
Yep.
is MJF versus Jungle Boy.
Uh-huh.
Because eventually that's going to get us Wardlow versus Luchasaurus.
Thank the Lord, because that's going to be great.
MJF and Jungle Boy is such a weird combination. I like Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy's fucking great. Jungle Boy is like Chris Statlander in the sense of you're just really fun. Obviously, you've got a connection with the crowd when there's a crowd there, and you just want him to win.
Yeah.
He's strange in the sense of when we first saw this team, when it was just the two of them, it was like Luchasaurus and his little friend. Now it's like Luchasaurus and his little friend and his little friend. I don't know. MJF's a dick.
Yeah.
Basically, this match announcement was given by Tony Schiavone from The Office just to be like, hey, you haven't had a match in a while, and you think you're going to just coast through life. By the way, you've got a match, and it's against, flip through the Rolodex, see who doesn't have a match yet, Jungle Boy! It's going to be good. I get the feeling, like, MJF is one of the best characters they have on the show, bar none.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I think, as somebody who has only seen MJF through the lens of AEW, I'm sure there's more in-ring ability than I've seen so far from him in this, because I think he's so character-driven in this that it sort of overwhelms what he's actually doing in the ring, if that makes sense. So I think somebody like Jungle Boy, who's athletic as fuck and will probably carry the match, is what we need to see more out of MJF as an in-ring thing. MJF's gonna win.
Oh God, yes.
MJF, like, Jungle Boy's gonna get slaughtered.
I don't think he's gonna get slaughtered. I think MJF wins with some heel moves
From Wardlow.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go as far as to say MJF wins. MJF and Wardlow do something terrible to him, like put him through a bleacher or something.
And Marco Stunt interferes too, and he dies.
That's what it is. Wardlow is gonna beat Jungle Boy to death with Marco Stunt.
He's already dead.
Oh my god, that's so terrible.
But you're gonna love it.
Have you ever seen the meme with the guy in the desert and he's just like holding a cactus and the caption is like, "Have you ever been so mad that you swung a cactus?" Except Marco Stunt is gonna be the cactus. Marco Stunt's gonna is Marco Stunt considered a foreign object because he is American? So would he be a domestic object?
I guess so. I guess it's legal. It's up to the referee's discretion, so.
Oh my god. Oh, there you go. There's your story. Because it's Double or Nothing, which is sort of a gambling reference anyway. MJF has been doing all that betting in the crowd while they've been watching Dynamite. So we're going to find out that he won a bunch of money from Sean Spears while they were gambling. And he used the money that he won from Sean Spears from gambling to pay the ref so that he can use Marco Stunt as a weapon to beat Jungle Boy with. And it's because it has to be so horrific that when Luchasaurus comes out, the crowd, the drawn upon crowd reaction would be holy shit.
Right.
And I mean, for reasons, just throw Lance Archer in there.
What?
For reasons.
Sure.
No. Here's what you do. Luchasaurus, Wardlow, and Lance Archer versus Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt, and Drake Maverick.
Oh, God.
James Ellsworth to referee. Anyways, moving on. MJF's winning this.
Yeah,
that's
MJF,
that's
definitely.
a no-brainer. As much as I hate to say, it sounds like I'm painting Jungle Boy as just like a chess pawn on the board. I'm really not trying to, because I think he's good. But this is
he's great.
But this is to get us to Wardlow and Luchasaurus at some point. Okay, what order do I want to do this in now? Jesus Christ. Let's talk about the Rumble in the Bank match. Because that's what it is.
I mean,
that's not a bad thing. Let me be clear.
I mean,
But it is.
But is it technically like a... I mean, okay, they're allowed to do this. You know why? Because Chris Jericho invented the Money in the Bank.
I'm not...
There.
This is the thing that AEW fans don't...
He has intellectual property.
This is the thing that AEW fans don't get about me, is me pointing out that it's Rumble in the Bank isn't me saying it's bad. It's just me pointing out that it's Rumble in the Bank.
I mean, it's a great concept, honestly.
But it's not though. Okay, we're gonna love it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not getting up on a high horse just yet. We haven't gotten to the Cody match yet. He can't go for the world title, but he can just make himself a title. Anyways, we're not there yet. It's fine. I like the concept. I think the slow burn of like starting with 2 and then adding 1 and adding 1 and adding 1. But if you were the first 2 people in this match, wouldn't you make, like, you know how you have temporary alliances in the Royal Rumble all the time just to get a couple people over? Would you not look across the ring at the first person that is in the ring with you, if you were like players 1 and 2, and just say, look, let's go grab that chip real quick and we'll figure it out later before anybody else gets out here?
Right.
Because it's not like War Games, where nobody can win until everybody's in. So there's nothing to say that, somebody's going to win before we find out who the surprise 19th or the surprise 9th person in the match is. They haven't really been specific. And the match itself is going to be great, but there's some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that they haven't been really specific about. Like, does it work like a money... Like, I'm making the joke, but does it work like a Money in the Bank thing? Or is it a, hey, you won this, therefore you get a shot at the title at the next pay-per-view at this specific time? Or is it, you've got a shot in 2 weeks on Dynamite? Or do you cash it in? Like, does the winner have control over that? They haven't specified that yet, which I think is good, because creatively it gives them leeway to decide what it is after the fact. But, I'll say it right now, because somebody in the comment section, somebody listening to us right now, somebody on Twitter is going to say it, hey man, hey Guapo.
Yeah.
Do you think the 9th guy is CM Punk?
No.
Okay, let's move on. I don't know who to think that it actually is, though.
I have a speculation.
Do you?
Yes. I think it is CM Punk. I'm joking now. No, I think it's Brian Cage.
Okay.
There was reports at the, I want to say October, or actually I had it pulled up a second ago, hold on. He had revealed, let's see, after the taping in October 25th last year, he had revealed that he wasn't coming back to Impact. His contract had expired, and he was going to leave to take time off from wrestling to have a surgery.
Okay.
He has been quiet, hasn't been saying shit lately, so he's not signed anywhere. So theoretically, there's a chance that we might get Brian Cage for AEW, because if you remember last year at this time, he was supposed to be in the Casino Royale Battle Royal for Double or Nothing last year, but at the last minute got pulled out because TNA told him no.
See, now, I think I've only seen like 1 or 2 of his matches, so if you pretend that I haven't seen him at all, what would I expect from him? So picture, I don't know if you have a picture of him in front of you at the moment, but he's a super swole, jacked up dude who could do flips and move way too quickly for a dude his size. Okay.
Yes.
Alright, so probably dead set for something like a ladder match.
A ladder match like this would be perfect, especially if the only person of equal size to him in this match is Luchasaurus.
Okay.
Then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should talk about the other people that are in this match.
Yes.
Because, as you say, we do have Luchasaurus.
Here, I'll list it all for you.
I've got it in front of me too. So yeah.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Luchasaurus.
If you want to, all right. Whatever you want, brother.
Luchasaurus is fun. I don't think they're going to put him near.
I would love for Luchasaurus to win it, but I don't see him winning it. He's going to be one that goes for a title, but not right now.
Yeah, and I do want, like, maybe not necessarily for a title, but I do want to see Luchasaurus versus Jon Moxley.
I do too. Maybe he doesn't go for the AEW World Championship at the moment, but he might go for that other nice title that's being made. But we'll get there soon.
I'm getting a preemptive migraine. I hate to say it like this, but one of the guys that's just there to be great and fill out the match, Frankie Kazarian.
Yeah.
Kip Sabian, I don't have an opinion on Kip Sabian just yet. I've seen him, and it's one of those I like what I see so far, but it's not enough to give me an opinion of him just yet. This sounds really cocky, but like I'm looking to guys like him in this match to show me something, to help me form my opinion of him. There's no way in hell he's winning it.
No.
Scorpio Sky, awesome. We've seen him go up against Jericho before. I don't think he wins this because he's definitely going to get another title shot at some point without needing something like this. Ray Phoenix, enough said.
He's there for the flips and shit.
He's there because it's a high-flying match and he's their high-flying guy. I should say one of their high-flying guys. And,
right.
And again, as you said about Luchasaurus, Ray Phoenix versus Jon Moxley would be really fun, really interesting Clash of Styles type of thing, but I don't think it's something that's happening right now. Orange Cassidy does my head in.
Maybe?
No, like in a good way, because the match he had with Ray Phoenix on Dynamite last night was fantastic.
Yes.
Ray Phoenix took that bump on the outside, though.
Nasty. Definitely
Holy
nasty.
Fuck. God, and I'm not pointing out the botch to say, haha, he fucked up. I'm more pointing out the botch to be like, fuck, I hope he's okay.
And the worst part is, that wasn't even a botch on Ray. That was a botch on them catching him.
Yeah, I've seen the debate online whether people weren't close enough or whether he undershot it. Either way, like, the blame game is secondary, sort of thing. Like,
as long as he's okay, it's fine.
The end result is his spine splattered on the fucking floor, which looked, it wasn't nice to look at. Orange Cassidy, though, Orange Cassidy does my head in. Like, if he pulls an Otis and like somebody knocks the chip off of the hook and it lands in his lap and he like shrugs and puts his thumb up,
whatever.
I'm done. Like, I just like, cause what that creates in my brain is a Battle of the Brands, Case versus Chip, with Orange Cassidy and Otis.
The worst, yeah.
Colt Cabana is there to fill it out.
I don't have Orange Cassidy as the person winning this, but
I think we both have the same person.
He's number 2 for me.
Colt Cabana is there to fill it out, I think. And again, a lot like Frankie Kazarian, I know how that sounds, and all I can say is I don't mean it in a disrespectful way, but he's there to fill out the field. He's going to put in his spots. He obviously knows what he's doing. He obviously knows at this point in his career what he can contribute to a match like this. But, I mean, we're not getting AEW World Champion Colt Cabana, are we?
No. But that's who I'm picking to win.
Colt Cabana?
Yes.
And Orange Cassidy's your number 2.
Orange Cassidy's number 2.
So you're gonna put a spike right through my throat and like vote against the guy that I think is winning this.
Oh, I love Darby, but he's already had a shot technically ish. But
yeah, but he's over as fuck though.
I think this match he does something like fucking crazy, to make him be even more over, to get a major, like an even bigger push.
So you're saying somebody else wins the match, but he gets the moment?
Yes, he gets the spotlight of the match. Other than probably whenever Brian Cage does a fucking 450 off the ladder onto a pile of people.
If it's just, I don't know. I'm saying Darby Allin, but then I also have a fantasy booking thing that I want to talk about in a second. Darby Allin, I think you and I have had this conversation before. Darby Allin is the closest thing they have in AEW to early days Jeff Hardy.
Yes, we've had that discussion.
Not necessarily thinking what's best for his physical well-being, not necessarily racking up like world title wins and whatever, but definitely like has a world championship level following from the crowd. Obviously, you know, wrestling fans love our goths. Like that's just something throughout history. Look at Undertaker all the way down. So like he's got an aesthetic that's not really like anybody else. He does those video packages that are almost like art films to a certain degree, and you can tell he's just been told, like, here, take a camera, do whatever you're going to do, because you're doing some good shit. And yes, I will give AEW credit, they do that way more than WWE does. So, somebody ring up Michael Sidgwick and tell him that I'm giving AEW some fucking credit. I think even though everybody has their own people that they like in this match, there's a little bit of this match that gets let down if Darby Allin doesn't win, because unless you were to put somebody like Marco Stunt in this match, the sentimental favorite in this match has got to be Darby Allin. And, yeah, as much as I've liked Kazarian since TNA was good, Scorpio Sky's, like, physically awesome. Luchasaurus is a great fucking gimmick. We don't know who the ninth person is. Rumor going around that the ninth person is just going to be 9 from the Dark Order. Can we agree that that's a bullshit result if that's the case?
Yeah, it would be terrible, yeah.
Like, okay, Moxley couldn't beat 10, maybe he can beat 9. Like, fuck off, by the way.
No, just no.
I gotta go Darby, and it as I say, it's nothing against the other people in the field. Any of them could have a great match with Mox.
Do you have any pick who could possibly be the mystery person?
Oh, I don't know, because the big names rumored to be coming over to AEW after Black Wednesday and after the subsequent firings, like after that. Like
all of them are 90 days, so
it's true. But I mean, even if you just look at headline, like don't pay attention to dates, just look at headlines. Like other than the one wingnut that thinks Adam Cole is coming to AEW, which isn't happening, by the way. Both of the things that come to my mind immediately are tag teams, and that's the Revolt and Gallows and Anderson. And I don't think you stick a tag team in a singles ladder match as a surprise. Like, that doesn't work.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I don't know. If it ends up being somebody just from the roster, like, it won't hurt my feelings. They've made a big deal of the fact that Pac has been trapped on the other side of the world, but they've talked a little too much about it, almost. So if that's been a bait and switch, and this is where they return Pac, that could be an interesting story. Because then my pick changes. If it's Pac, then in my head that's a dead heat between Darby Allin and Pac. And if we move on and get Pac versus Moxley for the title, not gonna lie, that wouldn't hurt my feelings.
That'd be fun.
We've seen what Allin and Mox can do. And they're both faces. They're both fan favorites. They can do that dynamic. But neither one of them is like the pure Snow White babyface. Like neither of them is John Cena. They're both kind of anti-heroes. So in a match like that, they could both get away with being dicks, especially with the title on the line.
Yes, that's true.
I'm going with Darby. You're going with Colt.
Yep.
I'll be praying for you, buddy.
I mean, it's not terrible. Just simply for the fact that it's Colt Cabana. you can have a easy light match between John and Colt.
Yeah, but you know what? If they just go in there and have a nice, easy, light match,
No, like
that'll
like
be
a easy, like a good build for it. Like it's not going to
okay.
be it's not going to be a what you call it like a shitty type build that they're attacking each other every single week type thing with a gang up fight type thing every single week, and it gets old.
See, I'd agree with that, and and again, I got to underscore this for anybody that's going to try and mistake what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that Colt couldn't go and have a great match with Moxley. I just don't think it's going to
Also,
be.
because I don't think we've ever had a Moxley Cabana match.
I mean, you would know that more than me, but it's just that it's a little underwhelming a result to me personally, and I have to look at it through the lens of AEW, and this is a new gimmick that they're presenting to us, and the first winner of a new gimmick, like, we still remember who the first Money in the Bank winner was. Like,
Do we?
Edge.
Yeah, no.
And no, but when we found out like what a Money in the Bank looks like, what a Money in the Bank winner feels like, what a cash in is,
New Year's Revolution.
yeah, but I mean, like, look at how commonplace the idea of cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase is now. I don't think it becomes nearly as ingrained in our brains if the first one wasn't spectacular. If the first one wasn't Edge, who everybody already loved and everybody was electric for, if it wasn't Edge taking it off John Cena, who everybody hated at the time, I don't know. It sounds like I'm shitting on Colt Cabana, and I'm not. And if that's your pick, that's your pick. And
Yeah.
I'll high five you through cyberspace if you picked it right. I unless the ninth participant is something that really blows us out of the water, I cannot see my way around anybody but Darby Allin winning this.
Okay.
So let's talk about something that's entirely less exciting, which unfortunately is the AEW World Title match.
Yeah, John Moxley.
I no, but see, here's the thing. Like, I laugh a lot at the whole, oh, we'll just get them out of WWE and then we'll show what they can really do. And there is, as much as I make fun of it, there is a legitimate thing to that. And I like Luke Harper in WWE. He never got a singles push, really, other than the one IC title run, and Dean Ambrose got to be Dean Ambrose. So to see the two of them, like, with the chains off, so to speak, which is, another issue for another day, I wish I was more excited than I am right now. I think the overwhelmingly kids cartoon element of the Dark Order ruins this for me. I think if you just debut Brody Lee and do his thing, and they weren't using Brody Lee as a stand-in Vince McMahon to throw punches at, I would like this more. And I want to like it more. I really do. But, like, Moxley's winning.
Yeah.
Like, I'll watch the entrances, and I'll go grab a drink, and I'll come back for the paradigm shift, and I'll be like, cool, Moxley's still the champion. That's awesome. Conversely, if they throw a swerve at us and Brody Lee does win, I'm going to be like, what the fuck? So, I got nothing for this. Like, if you've got something to say about this match, like, I'm really hoping you speak up and say it, because
to be honest, I don't have much, just because if we actually had crowd presence right now, I think this match would have been a better build, because you would have had the pop for Brody Lee coming in as the Exalted One. That would have been amazing. And this build would have been much better, I think, with a actual crowd reaction, unfortunately.
Do you think his arrival in AEW would have been like the earth-shattering thing that some people think it is?
No, I honestly don't think it was going to be earth-shattering. But, I mean, I like him being in AEW. I like him being back as Brody Lee because he honestly was limited and was not allowed to do a lot in WWE. But that's neither here or there.
And see, but everything you just said, I agree with. I like that he's in AEW. I like that he's, somewhere that if he didn't get a chance to do something in WWE, obviously he's going to get a chance to do it now. Obviously he's got some ideas. All of that I like. I like the fact that he's going to have a one-on-one match with somebody like Moxley. I think it's going to be good. Show what he can do in the ring without the limited WWE style and all that sort of thing. But I think you repeat the mistakes of WWE by just throwing him in another group of people.
The only thing that changes is because he's the head, so he's the one speaking.
I don't know. I think he could have just come in on his own. Because I have heard, and you probably are way more learned on this than I am, so I am going to give you the floor on this in a second. But I've heard that Brody Lee as the leader of the Dark Order was a last-minute change because they thought they were getting Marty Scurll before Marty Scurll signed with ROH.
No, it's always been Brody.
Has it?
Yes.
And see, Marty Scurll, to me, everybody's like, oh, he's an ROH guy. He's this guy or that guy or a Bullet Club guy or whatever. To me, Marty Scurll's a Destiny guy because I saw him fight in Destiny.
Right.
I was sitting there watching him fight Pete Dunne and Josh Alexander. It was good. But the limited handful of times that I saw him in Destiny, I think maybe uneducatedly, but I think that he would have fit this role better. And I think all the people that were fan casting it to be him, I think that works better. Not somebody who was saddled with one group in one company, and you finally had this idea that you were going to get to see him on his own, make his own path, and he's just... Because he's with a bunch of goobers at the end of the day. He's with the putties from Power Rangers.
Yes, they are the putties from Power Rangers. I don't know. I could never have seen Marty as the Exalted One, just because, he has the villain enterprises and stuff like that he's doing ROH and everything, but him as that, I don't know, it's too culty-ish type thing for Marty's gimmick. But Brody being a very intellectual type of person, it fits a character that he can play very well as a leader, cult type leader. So it was always intended to be him whenever they started doing the Exalted One vignettes.
All right. I think it's they took a big swing, they took a big creative swing, and I will say AEW takes a lot of big creative swings, but I think it's a swing and a miss in this case. And the downside of that is I'm less excited than I want to be about a match that's probably going to be awesome.
Right.
Moxley?
Mox, yeah.
All right, so let's talk about it.
Which one?
He's a really nice guy that wrote himself completely out of winning the AEW champion. That's the kind of leader he is, except he just created another title to give himself and Kiss up to the television network that carries them at the same time. Of course, I'm talking about Roman Reigns taking on Lance Archer.
You want me to make you feel bad?
Oh, God.
Cody's not the one that came up with the title idea.
He probably came up with giving it to himself.
False.
No?
He's not winning it. Lance Archer is.
I want that to be true.
Tony Khan somewhat kind of spoiled it last week or the week before last on the AEW podcast.
Okay.
So he said, so long story short, they were talking about Lance Archer and doing the TV tapings and stuff like that for the tournament and everything, and Tony Khan's the one that came up and said that he wanted to do the TNT championship, just because he wanted to give back to the network for letting them be on their network, and then also signing that massively long extension before their deal was up already.
I'm just saying.
Also, because he said if they ever did change and get out of TNT, that all they have to do is simply change it to the TV title.
Yeah, but also TNT is the abbreviation for Dynamite as well.
That is correct.
Fine, the joke just fell flat. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, everybody in the past year or so has gotten really big TV deals. And if we look at the other side of the firing line, what's the biggest TV deal? SmackDown got signed to Fox, and it shook WWE to the core, or whatever you want to say. If WWE wanted to thank their network for the big money and the big extension, and they went and created the WWE Fox Championship, they would get shit on from now until the end of quarantine.
Well, yeah, because they don't need it.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, Lance Archer's winning the match because Tony Khan also said that he'd also made the statement that Lance Archer is going to be the hottest and most talked about wrestler by the end of all this. So, Archer's winning.
I also think there's way too many moving parts in this match. Because in this match, you've got Cody and Archer in the ring. You've got Arn Anderson, Brandy Rhodes, Jake Roberts, and what's his name? Tyson on the outside. So it's also a bit of a circus.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I have the creeping feeling that it's going to be Roman Reigns giving himself a title. That's more so what I've been led to believe by what I've seen so far than anything that I factually know, obviously. But I will put a silver lining on this that I don't think will actually happen, but what I would love to happen, because I said Darby Allin's winning the Rumble in the Bank, whatever, chip thing. What I would love to see, because Darby Allin has had a string of matches with Cody and hasn't managed to get his win yet. He's been playing a little bit of the lovable loser role. You know, he gets defeated, but he's not disheartened and all that shit, right? Would it not be awesome if we saw Cody somehow get that win? He's been murdered by the Murder Hawk, but somehow manages to squeak out a victory because he smiles at him a little too hard and blinds him for a second or what the fuck ever. But he's had the shit beat out of him by Lance Archer, which is all the credit to Lance Archer. Darby Allin comes down with the chip, surprises everybody, decides to cash in for this title, takes advantage of a beaten down Cody Rhodes, and finally gets the win that he needs in that feud when it matters. And your TNT champion coming out of Double or Nothing is actually Darby Allin.
I'd go for it.
I like it. Because coming off of, everybody that's going to be in the crowd pretending to cry happy tears for Cody because he cries more than Charlotte, we're not doing that again, to just have it squashed by Darby Allin, who's already riding the momentum of this incredibly, taxing match that he's had earlier on in the night, to then be the guy that comes out with 2 accomplishments in one night, because he's the one that's over as fuck, would be really, really cool. That's what I want. It's definitely not going to happen, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up. But I like booking cool things. You know what's a cool thing?
Wrestling.
Stadium Stampede match.
Stadium Stampede, yeah.
The Inner Circle versus Kenny Omega, Matt Hardy, and 3 other guys that finally decided to show up to work this week.
That's always a good thing.
It is always a good thing. This is going to be great. I'm taking the piss out of it, but it's going to be great. the one thing that I said when I heard about this, like they're putting the ring in the middle of the Florida Panthers football field, if I'm not mistaken.
Jaguars,
whatever, same thing.
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Whatever. Okay, let me count on 0 fingers the amount of fucks I give about football. All right.
I mean, I know some of your CFL teams. Your what is it? Toronto. Shit. What the fuck? Nope. I lost it. Nope. CFL's a joke. Sorry.
Okay. I'll tell you a little secret. I don't know about anything about CFL either.
It happens.
But I do know that XFL is gone again.
That's gonna be a whole nother video that we're gonna have to do because there's been reports
I don't care
that came out with that stuff too.
I don't care enough to do that video, man. I'm not gonna lie.
It would be a video that's a rant on Vince, not really
everything's a rant on Vince. He's as popular to bash as Donald Trump. Ooh, I said it. Anyways, what I want to see in this match, I mean, there's a lot of things that we could just sit here and like fantasy book like spots that we want to see in this match, right?
Of course.
But it is a false count anywhere match in a football field, and there's a ring in the center of the football field. I would love the irony of this match happening and doing whatever it does and whatever result we get without anybody ever actually standing foot in the ring. People have estimated that Kenny Omega is going to do a moonsault off the football posts. People have estimated that somebody's going to try and surf down the bleachers to the field. There's been jokes that the Elite and the Inner Circle are going to show up in respective like football jerseys and start at opposite ends of the field. There's been suggestions that like it's really going to be a 5-on-4, and every now and then they're just going to flash over to the bar where Hangman's going to be having another drink. I mean, there's a lot of creative minds at play in this match. There's every reason that this should be a cool cinematic thing on the level of the Boneyard match, the Firefly Funhouse, the Money Up the Roof match, One Last Beat. Maybe not necessarily Orton versus Edge, because that kind of sucked balls. There's every reason that it could be as good as that. And they've got to be real, and let's give them some credit over WWE, they've got a much bigger and more interesting playground to play with than WWE does in the Performance Center.
Yeah.
I don't know who fucking wins this, man.
We do.
We do, but
Inner Circle.
Yeah, because are they still planning on doing the Blood and Guts match when they get crowds back?
They have put that on hold. So, yeah, I think Inner Circle does it.
I mean, there's individual people that I would love to see have individual moments in this match. Obviously, like, I mean, Jericho's Jericho. Jericho's always fucking great. Broken Matt's going to do the Broken Matt stuff. I really want Sammy Guevara to pull off some kind of highlight in this match, because on the heel side of things, I equate him with Darby Allin as far as like who's standing out. Like, you've got your big, you got your Moxleys and your Jerichos and your Codys and your Omegas and your Bucks and all the like the big top tier, like, I'm not even making a pun here, but like the elite members of the AEW roster. But under them, you've got the people that I'm actually tuning in to see week to week, which is your Luchasauruses, which is your Chris Statlanders, which is your Darby Allins, your Sammy Guevaras. Out of the 10 guys in this match, I want Sammy Guevara. If Inner Circle win, I want Sammy Guevara to be the guy that gets the pin.
Yes.
I don't know.
I'm good with that.
Give me a spot. Give me a spot that you want to see in this match.
I honestly would love to see I want to see what's called a Meltzer driver with Nick jumping off of the one of the end zone goalposts.
Nice.
Onto giving the Meltzer driver to one of the probably Santana or Ortiz.
I have heard a rumor that one of the teams is going to be doing like a big fantastical entrance in a helicopter.
Oh, that's totally Inner Circle.
Maybe because one of the
that sounds like an Inner Circle thing.
Well, yeah, it does, because arriving in a helicopter is like arriving in a limo, and that's what they would do. But one of the things that I've heard suggested is that the helicopter is actually going to have nobody in it, and that the helicopter is going to be revealed to be Vanguard 1's big brother.
Oh, God.
So that'll be a thing, but also...
it's going to be Vanguard Infinity.
Vanguard 3000.
Vanguard 3000, oh God.
But if that's not the case, but we are getting a helicopter, somebody would die, so I don't actually want this to happen, but some sort of like mad dive out of a helicopter.
Oh God, no.
Would be peak cinematic wrestling. If it's shot cinematically and they don't have to like actually physically do it, like if they shoot it like a movie, if they do it like a Boneyard or a Funhouse thing where they can make it that it happened without it actually happening, if you get what I mean?
Yeah.
If they can just make it a thing that happened in the fiction without the thing that happened in the fact, I think that, like, the whole idea of Jericho just being ridiculous, and it's like, he does the Judas effect, but instead of, like, backing into somebody, he Judas effects out of the helicopter and, like, lands, and it turns into, like, an elbow drop.
Oh, God.
But, I mean, just look at Andrade. I mean, the Judas effect isn't even a finisher.
Yeah.
I'm an asshole. It's fine. It's fine. Fuck. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to this week. I'm looking forward to the show.
Here's my thing, right? Because we don't know if Blood and Guts is still happening. If Blood and Guts is still happening and Inner Circle winning gets us there, I'm good with it. If this is the end, or if the Blood and Guts thing isn't happening, let the good guys win and just let it be the end and let all 10 of these guys go in other directions.
Yes.
Also, it would be funny with this many people in a match if, like, one of the teams brings in extra help. Like, Michael Nakazawa comes to the arena with Kenny because they carpooled or something.
I think we get some extra people in this, but you know what? I want to go off on a tangent because this is a spot that I hope to happen because I hope this actually happens in real life and I hope this, comes to fruition. That we get the GOD, Guerrillas of Destiny, making a surprise appearance to screw over the Elite. Because Tony Khan makes a working deal with New Japan to allow New Japan talent to come over and have AEW talent to go over to Japan to work with them.
So you mean so the people from New Japan can actually wrestle?
Correct. That's
because aren't they the ones getting the praise right now? Because they're doing like no wrestling.
They're doing nothing whatsoever, yeah. But that's also because Japan's being super strict and not allowing like any type of shows or anything like that. So there's nowhere for
whereas
them.
in America, wrestling is an essential service. Yes. This world is like fucked up and corrupt.
So I don't know. My hope, my actual hope to come to fruition is that AEW does get that working relationship. Because think of just the dream matches, just with the AEW people in the AEW roster and people in the New Japan roster, that the matches that can be put together.
Isn't Gorillas of Destiny the ones with like Tammy Tango or whatever the hell his name is?
Tonga and Tongaloa.
Tammy Tango. It's fine.
Sure.
Hey, they tried to take out What Culture, so I gotta stand behind Simon Miller.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, it's been quite enough, I think. Last thoughts on the show. It's going to be a bit of a downer because of the real world situation and the fact that we've got no crowd and whatnot. But it's been a weird week for wrestling fans anyway, just with sad bullshit. So at least we got something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, since it's been a minute, tell these people where to find you.
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Guapo_504. I tweet sometimes.
Anyways, as a brief programming note to people listening on the channel, you guys know I've been doing the movie review series with Kristen. I've been re-uploading some old stuff along with the new stuff that we're doing now. This coming Tuesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Toronto time, I'll be re-uploading our old review of Suicide Squad. So come and join the fun if you're into that kind of thing. Also, this past week we finished the third in the trilogy of the current Godzilla movies. Go back and check that out. If you haven't, that's Guapo. You know where to find me, or you wouldn't be here. I've been Spaz. He's been Guapo. We are your, I guess, AEW reality check? Maybe?
At least one half of us is.
He did the thing. Anyways, subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, me and Senor Guapo are tagging out. Bye, guys.
Adios, mis amigos.